I'm gonna title this video "The Black Community and the Dallas Cowboys." Now, about 3 years ago, I had a chance to go and visit the new Dallas Cowboys Stadium and to watch a Dallas Cowboys football game. At that time, the stadium was relatively new, and they were all talking about it cost $1 billion to build it. But I decided to take my mother and my father to the game. That game, it was the first game of the season, and they played the New England Patriots. And the particular seats we had at the stadium were front row. The seats cost $1,800 a piece, and I bought 3. I just decided to take my mother and father. We were close enough where I would say within 2 arms reach to touch the players and Jerry Jones as they came out of the stadium. That's how close we were. Great seats. All right, and it was a good game. That Julian Edelman is the real deal. All right, he was really the star of the show at that time. But you know, the Dallas Cowboys are considered America's team, and they are my team for the most part. I mean, I grew up as a Dallas Cowboys fan, and they've had their share of winnings. But when I was there, I got a chance to talk to some of the diehard fans there. I mean, these were real deal Dallas Cowboy football fans. And when I was talking to them, they had recollection of the history, and they also knew some of the inner workings of how the team, how the team is constructed and how things go. And I was sitting there talking to them. At that time, the Cowboys didn't have a good team, and they weren't really projected to go anywhere. I think this was right before the Dak Prescott come in. All right. So as I was talking to one of the diehard fans there, he was telling me that, it really wasn't about winning. And I asked him, I said, what do you mean, man? Everybody wants to win. He said, yeah. He said, but you don't understand. Here in Dallas, in this Dallas Cowboys team, it's not as much about winning as it is much about doing it Jerry's way. And I couldn't really get it at that time because I hadn't really been keeping up with the Cowboys, and I wasn't as close to the workings of the Cowboys as some of the people who lived there in Dallas were. But what he was telling me was that winning wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing was doing it Jerry's way, and if you win, that's just a plus. So you got to watch this, because if you go into the Dallas Cowboys as a fan without really understanding the inner workings of it, you would think that winning is more important than anything else. And I thought about that. It really didn't hit me until about maybe 2 years later, what that really meant. But what I started doing was I started, my little ventures in trying to assist the black community out and doing my part in trying to improve it. And what I started learning about the black community in relationship to the Dallas Cowboys was it basically works the same way. What the black community really wants is they want things done their way more than they want good outcomes. So if you go into the black community thinking they want good outcomes and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get those outcomes, you're going to be mistaken. What takes precedent in the black community is doing things their way. And I didn't get it. I missed it. So the black community is basically run like the Dallas Cowboys team. If we win, if we do get a good outcome, that's just a plus. But what takes precedent is doing it our way. So I started to really let this sink in. And I started seeing that in a lot of ways, I was fighting a losing battle. Now, this is from someone who really wanted to, improve things. Someone who's actually put some tangibles down now. But what I was fighting against was this status quo normalized psychology and the wanting of good results to fall on top of that status quo. Okay? In other words, they didn't want to change the way they were doing things to get good outcome. They want to keep the way they're doing things the same, and they want good outcomes to fall on top of that. So in a lot of ways, when they call back these people who have gone back and got the education and come from these towns, the small towns, and they ask you to come back and give back, what they're asking you to do is sacrifice. Be charitable. They don't want you to come back and input process in place that would actually cause improvement that they have to actually walk in. What they want is they want to continue walking the path they've been walking, and they want the fruits of someone else's labor to be either sacrificed or just being charitably given to them. But they're not going to change the status quo. All right? And you need to realize this before you jump into this black community trying to, with a sincere heart, thinking that that's the way they want change. That's not how it is. They do not want to change the status quo, but they will take the good results. But what takes precedent in everything is we need to keep things the way they are. We do not want to change our ways. And that is the same way the Dallas Cowboys team is run today. If we win, that's just a plus on top of the way I want things done. But what takes precedence is we're going to do it my way. So I think any of you young black men that have a sincere heart and want to actually come back and help the community you come from, you need to realize this before you go into it, blindly. So anyways, peace out.